Welcome to our first webinar in what will be a series of webinars based on our customers' top fibre questions to our technical staff, whether it be our staff in our Technical Assistance Centre or to myself or my fellow regional marketing engineers. We have developed a series of webinars to address the questions that are commonly asked. My name is Wayne Allen, and I'm the Regional Marketing Engineer for Fluke Networks in the Asia Pacific region. I will be your host today for this webinar. In today's webinar, we will look at identifying fibre links and connectors from the collars that are used. And should I say commonly used, because there is some deviations by some manufacturers. Surprisingly, many people do not know the significance of the collars that we use with fibre jackets and fibre connectors. So to start with, let's look at some of the jacket collars that are commonly used. Firstly, let's have a look at signal mode fibre. Whether it be OS1A or OS2 styles of fibre, they are usually jacketed in a yellow collar. And as you can see, I have those there at the top. As we move down into multi-mode, the first style of multi-mode was OM1, and that was orange in colour. However, OM1 has a 62.5 micron core size. And when OM2 was introduced, it also came out with an orange jacket, just to confuse us. But OM2 is a 50 micron core size fibre, and you really shouldn't be mixing 62.5 micron and 50 micron core size fibres. But with the same collared jacket, it was very easy to do. So nearly all the later versions of OM2 fibre that were produced had a grey jacket, so we did accidentally mix OM1 and OM2 fibres together. As 50 micron fibre developed and got better, we came through with the OM3 multimode fibre. OM3 was aqua in colour, and it gave a better modal bandwidth, which allowed for higher data rates. As 50 micron fibres continued to develop, OM4 became available. And the initial OM4 offerings were often found, unfortunately, in aqua coloured jackets as well. Now, the two fibres have the same core diameters, so you can mix them. You won't see any major problems. But as this developed along, OM4 was given an official name, and the official name for OM4 jacket collar is Erica Violet. Sometimes people refer to it as Heather Violet. OM4 has a larger modal bandwidth than OM3, so it offers superior performance. So knowing the difference between those two fibres can be important. Just recently, there was a new fibre introduced, OM5 multimode. It has the same modal bandwidth as OM4, but OM5 is lime green in colour and has been optimised to carry 4 wavelengths, and those wavelengths start at 850 nanometer and go up to 950 nanometer. And that allows a higher throughput down the fibre optic cable. So what happens when we have multi-core fibres, where we can have 12 or more fibres in the one fibre optic cable? Well, there is a collar scheme to support the identification of those individual fibres as well. And I have it here on the bottom of the slide. So fibre 1 is blue, fibre 2 is orange, fibre 3 is green, 4 is brown, 5 is slate, 6 is white, 7 is red, 8 is black, 9 is yellow, 10 is violet, 11 is pink, or some people refer to that as rose, and 12 is aqua. Now, just recently in the multi-fiber arena, or parallel optics, we've seen 16-fiber connectors emerge. And to support 16 fibers, they've added 4 extra collars. So you now have 13 that is olive, 14 magenta, 15 tan, and 16 which is lime. So then the question comes up, what if I've got a 24-core fiber? Well, we just repeat the 12 fiber collars. So fibers 1 to 12 are blue through to aqua, as I have here. Fibers 13 to 24, 13 is blue, 24 is aqua. So it's just a repeat. When we go to 32 fibers, 1 is blue, 16 is lime, and that gets repeated. So 17 would be blue, and 32 would be lime in colour. Our connectors can also come in different colours too. So as you can see here, single mode, UPC, that's the type of polish, ultra-physical contact, is normally blue in colour. Single mode can be also terminated in what is known as a connector with an angled physical contact polish, APC. And those connectors are typically green in colour. For multi-mode, 62.5 and 50 micron core fibers, they're normally terminated in a beige connector, and that connector can be LC or SC. There is deviation. Some manufacturers choose to collar their connectors similar to the collar that's used on the fiber. So I've seen aqua connectors on 50 micron cable, and I've seen Erica Violet connectors on OM4 50 micron cable. But also don't forget your adapters. They are designed to match the connectors using the same sort of colour schemes as well. For us, in our team, we found that the blue adapters provide the best results for UPC connections, whether it be for single mode or multi-mode terminations. So when we're testing installations or setting our references, we tend, where it is a UPC or PC style of connector, we tend to use the blue adapters. But if we're doing APC connections, where we've got green connectors, we use the appropriate adapters for those terminations. In the last slide, I was referring to UPC or APC styles of connectors. And what we're really talking about here is the polish that's used on the end faces. Although there are 4 different polish types out there, typically today we see 3 that are commonly in use. The first style is PC, or physical contact. And a way to characterize that sort of connector is by its performance, and it has reflectance of normally better than -30 dB. And by reflectance is a measure of how much light is reflected back from the polished end face of the connector. The other commonly used polish style is called ultra physical contact, and that's usually better than -40 dB reference. I've exaggerated a little bit here in the picture, but it's more conical in its polish style and gives better performance, of course, than PC. or physical contact. The third commonly used style is APC, angled physical contact, and it has a reflectance of better than -60 dB. And what characterises this sort of connector, as you can see, is the angle there. And that cutback is around 8 degrees. So that gives the connector a very good reflectance performance. What we do not want to see with our connectors is a large air gap. When you get a large air gap between the two end faces of the connectors, air is an attenuation. It's a change of refractive index. The light has to go through, and that leads to large losses. And we call those losses connector losses. So we just spoke about PC or UPC polishers and APC polishers. So what are the differences in these polishers? What's it giving us? Well, it's all about how the reflected light travels. So if you look at the PC or UPC blue connector I have here, when the light comes down, it gets reflected straight back. So it's reflected straight back towards the transmitter. And in a high-powered system, over a period of time, depending on how much light is reflected, that reflected light could damage the transmitter electronics. And for reliability, we don't really want to see that. So what you'll see in high-powered situations, and think of telco situations, you tend to see a lot more APC, angled physical contact polishers. And the beauty of these connectors is when the transmitted light is reflected back, the reflected light is deflected away at an angle. So the light is not going back towards the transmitter. When you use an OTDR, an optical time domain reflectometer, APC connectors tend to look toward more like a splice than a reflective event created by a connector. Well, that brings us to the end of today's short webinar. So if you've got any questions about the material that I have presented here, please feel free to email us at apacmarketing@flukenetworks.com. We've also created an ebook based on the common fibre questions people have been asking us, and this is readily available. So if you would like your own copy, and this webinar is based on many of the questions in that ebook, please feel free to go to the address given along the bottom of the slide here and request your own copy. Finally, I would like to thank you for viewing today's webinar, and look out for our next webinar where we will look at fibre link losses and how to calculate fibre loss budgets. So from me, I thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.